Hi, everybody. This is Erica from In the Company of Cards. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here before. This is Monday, and so therefore it's always the day that I remind you all what I do. I am a diviner, a psychic, a medium, a teacher, a writer. And what I do on this channel is I use Lenormand, which is a 36 card divination system. You see some of the cards from my own deck on my wall there to predict and comment on issues of significance, political, cultural, racial, all of it. So, just so you know what you're getting into. I do have some resources available that can be helpful to you. I'm the author of The Language of Lenormand. I only do this on Mondays just to remind people. And this is a book that I have written in a very friendly style in order to help you learn traditional and modern ways of reading the system that I read here at Lenormand. It's wherever books are sold. It's called The Language of Lenormand or Lenormand or Lenormand. You can say it however you want to say it. Lenormand. The book is also in French, Découvrez le langage secret du Lenormand. So wherever books are sold and which language you prefer, French or English, it's a system that is essentially a French slash German system from the late 18th century, early 19th century. I also, the deck, as I mentioned, is sold exclusively. This is my deck at through La Panthère, like a panther, La Panthère Studio. We have the regular edition, and then there's a mini edition as well. And I also have a self-directed course. I've put up a bunch of videos, and you can walk through those videos if you purchase that course and learn how to read if that's your preferred way of reading. The links for all of those are under each of my videos. So if you just click the button there, you will see how to access the books, the course, or the deck. I am going to put up a course, a live course, which will be like a Zoom thing for a cost, and that will be in the fall, probably, I think, 5-week course, 2 hours probably each time, and would love to have you join me and learn Lenormand from me in real time. Um, it's a great way to meet other people who are interested in divination, great way to have sort of a hands-on experience of Lenormand and get some guidance from somebody that some people consider one of the best in the world. I'm a Leo, so it's getting ready to be my birth month, so I thought I'd crow a little bit about that. Um, Thank you to all of you who visited my live on whatever day that was that I did that. Sunday, maybe? Can't remember. Saturday or Sunday? Sa Saturday, I think, where I did live readings on Substack. I read for an hour. I read for a lot of people. People seemed to really love it. But again, it was on Substack. So what I did was to announce it here on this community page. This YouTube space has a community page. I put a post saying I was going to be doing this live, and I also put the link. So all you had to do was to click that link that would take you at the appropriate time, should you click it at the appropriate time, to the live. I don't know why there was confusion about that. So I'm getting a lot of emails from people asking me questions that they want me to answer. Well, the live lasted 1 hour. That hour has come and gone many times between then and now. And so that's over. You certainly can watch the replay, um, either on Substack or here. And, I've done it a couple of times here where I've just sort of opened up and I've said, ask me anything. But YouTube can be a little bit like the Wild West. Um, so that's why I thought I would go do it over on Substack. I may do it on YouTube. I may not. I'm hoping to get um, to a subscriber milestone. And what I've done in the past is when I've reached a certain milestone in terms of subscriber number, as a gift, I have offered that hour or hour and a half of free readings about anything. So I've done that before. I'm willing to do it again, but I'm waiting to see the numbers climb. Um, so look for that announcement when the time comes. Maybe, around the beginning of August, which would be the 2-year anniversary of this channel. But thank you to everybody who came. If you got your question answered, that's great. I'm happy for you. And I've gotten lots of notes from people saying that it was helpful to them. So that's great. I'm happy. Okay, so we have a few things to look at today. I'm going to look at Tucker Carlson's leaving the Republican Party. I'm going to look at Elon Musk's suing of Ro Khanna. I'm going to look at the whole reflecting pool debacle. I'm going to look at the felons trying to dismiss the verdict against him in the E. Jean Carroll case. And I'm going to look at what's coming for the UK now that their prime minister has resigned. So those are the issues that I'm going to look at. I was watching my friend Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot the other day. Uh, she and I have done a couple of videos together. She's a very private person and doesn't generally collaborate, but we did do a collaboration once on her channel and once on my channel. And we are good friends. And I realized, wait, she doesn't just let people leave people hanging as to what she's going to talk about. She does what I just did. She says, I'm going to look at this, and this. And then she proceeds to look at this, and this. I think that's a good policy. So I took a leaf out of Marianne's book. Okay, Tucker. So Tucker Carlson, we know, the right wing pundit who got fired from Fox and CNN or wherever he's been in different places and was fired. And now he's sort of a free agent. He has his own thing that he does. Um, he he is leaving the Republican Party. So, I don't really care about him myself, except for the fact that he's been pretty adamant in his disapproval of our participation in the war against Iran that we were dragged into willingly, I guess. The felon was happy to do it by uh, the country that starts with an I. I have to be careful because there's a lot of censorship going on in the social media space, and I'm, trying to do my best here. So anyway, he's been pretty vocal against the war, and it just is not a fan anymore of the felon. Well, welcome, Tucker, to the resistance. At any rate, he's leaving. There was a lot of speculation that maybe he would, prior to his announcement, there was a lot of speculation that he would run for the Republican nomination for president uh, and in 2028. Because remember that that's an open primary. It's not a given that Vance has it in the bag. I also think it's not a given that Vance will run, but that's a whole nother story. So, but now that speculation is thrown out the window because he will not be seeking the Republican nomination. The concern for Republicans is, will he run as a third party candidate, which would essentially split the vote, because he's a pundit, because he's been on TV, people know his name, etc. He represents a lot of uh, sort of former MAGA people who are disenfranchised for all the reasons. And so, what I want to know is what effect will Tucker leaving the party have on the party? And I'm asking that really with an eye towards the 2028 election. It's not like Tucker has declared that he's going to run as a third party candidate. He didn't say that. But all he said was he's leaving the party. But I would like to know how that will affect 2028 going forward. 2028, sadly, still a ways away, but can't hurt to look. So I think what I'll do is he's not a young man. He has children who are kind of grown. Mm. Um, so I will use the older man. You see him up there on my wall. That will stand for Tucker Carlson, that older man. Uh, and we want to know what influence will his leaving the party have on the party as we move towards 2028 and the um, presidential nominations and then election. Okay. So what I do is I cut the deck into three. They've already been shuffled, and I gather them back up. And then I just flip cards over one at a time until I get to the card that I'm looking for. And again, that will be the older man, this time standing for Tucker Carlson and his influence on the Republican Party that he has just um, left. So this is him. I take the two cards that came right before him and I put them to his left. And then I take the two cards that would have followed him and I put them to the right. Interesting. We have the mice, we have the whip, we have Tucker, we have the sun, and we have the tower. Now, he is, I mean, I guess one could argue, he's articulate, educated, wrong-headed, but nevertheless, so mice and whip. He has thrown the party into a tailspin with this announcement. They are anxious, they are worried, they are all over the place. That's mice. Whip. When people tend to be like this, they tend to be what? Argumentative, short with each other. So he's really thrown the conversation for a loop because now the party doesn't. I mean, if they had thought that, um, he would give uh, JD a run for his money because a lot of people don't like JD. Well, now he's not in the running. He's not in the running for them, for the party. He could certainly give JD or whoever a run for their money, but as an outsider, right? As an independent. That's not helpful to the Republican Party. I love that for them. We have Tucker in the middle, and then we have the sun and the tower. This stands for politics, including political office. I think he made a very smart decision, a very clear-eyed decision, because essentially, what is he doing? He is publicly uncoupling himself from the felon, from the felon's administration, from any decisions that the felon and the administration have made. so that he appears, new, untainted, fresh. And the Republican electorate will be looking for that, those who don't want to go in the direction of the Democrats. So uh, they are terrified. The Republicans are terrified. Tucker, it looks like, has a bright future. I'm going to pull some clarifiers just to see. Hey, so I pulled clarifiers, of course, on Tucker. We have the Fox. I mean, it's a clever move in terms of not just making it, but the timing of it, right? He doesn't look like a Johnny come lately trying to jump ship when it's just about sunk. He's getting off the ship fairly early, so that's good. Um, that said, he doesn't know, he has doubts about how the public will receive him, whether he can reinvent himself, whether he can make a case for himself as an independent. So he doesn't know, but he does think that this was a clever move. And of course, any uncoupling that one does from the felon at this stage would be smarter than not doing it, right? It's the sun. I mean, the sun, they say, is the best card in the deck. We have the clarifiers of the scythe, the book, and crossroads. This is very interesting. So, the uncoupling that he's done from the Republican Party will be good for him. Not only is this the card for a decision, it's also here a card of reaping. He will reap a reward for having uncoupled himself. But who knows what that will look like? He doesn't even know. In fact, he could go in any number of directions. So, for example, he could, let's see, what could he do? He could, um, he could run for the vice president, I mean, the presidency, yes. He could also start some sort of media empire. Like right now, he's a podcaster, but I don't think he's got a media empire. He could, um, he could be the right wing response to, Midas or Parnas or something like that, and bring a bunch of people with him. So this is about choices. He has choices, and all of them stem from this decoupling from the felon and the party and when he's done it. So he's not sure what direction he's going to take. He hasn't decided to run for the presidency because he doesn't know yet how the public would receive him. He'll have to do focus groups and lectures and all that kind of thing to get a sense of that. But things look good for him. Here we have the towers, our fifth card, the clarifiers, the key, the anchor, and the rider. Okay, so this is government service. Uh, the key is a yes card. So he could choose to back another candidate for the presidency and be a kingmaker. There's a lot of things he could do, and I think they will be obviously connected to government, even if he does his own media conglomerate. What would that be about? Well, politics, right? So he's sitting pretty. Um, and has secured a spot for himself in the conversation. Uh, the message that he has sent is a clear one to the Republican Party. Be afraid. Be very afraid. I mirror the last card with the first card. So that's interesting. Okay. Not that interesting. I don't really, like I said, I don't really care about Tucker Carlson, but he's part of the landscape, right? So important to look at. Okay. So the next thing I want to look at is, hold on, I need to look something up before I misspeak as to what they represent. Um, hold on. Uh, yeah, senior moment there for a minute. So the next thing I want to look at is Ro Khanna and Elon. So Ro Khanna was on a podcast. I don't know if you all are familiar with it, but it's called the I've Had It podcast. You can find it on YouTube here at this platform. And it's Jennifer Welch and company. And she is someone who has spent most of her life in Oklahoma. I think she was an interior designer. Anyway, now she lives in New York and she does political commentary. She gets all the guests. Um, and I think it's because, she's from Oklahoma, which is a very conservative state. She is an atheist. Her politics are very leftist, progressive, I'd even say. And that's unusual. And she's blonde and white. And so, she's got this big platform. And she does very good work, I think. Um, and she had Ro Khanna on her I've Had It podcast a while ago. And in that podcast, Ro Khanna, who is in the House of Representatives, obviously, and he's from my state of California, Ro Khanna commented on Doge's dismantling of U.S. aid and talked about an independent study that had determined that there were many, many deaths, and a lot of them of children, because of Doge's gutting of USAID. I mean, I'm pretty sure that that is objectively correct. How could that not be the case? But anyway, Elon, the thin-skinned trillionaire, obviously, I guess your trillions can't buy you a thicker skin. But anyway, he is mad and he is suing Ro Khanna for having said that he and Doge are responsible for these deaths. Now, Ro Khanna was not opining about this. He was citing a study that had concluded this by a reputable entity. So I just want to know if that suit is going to go anywhere. So I think what we'll do is we'll use the letter, and that will be our focus card, and that will stand for Elon's um, suit against Ro Khanna. Now, a lot of times these people do these frivolous suits, and they know that they're frivolous, right? But they also know that they are nuisances. A nuisance is a mild word for what they are. You have to spend time and money uh, fighting these kinds of things. But I just want to know whether that suit will go anywhere. All he did was cite a study that drew a conclusion. But again, thin-skinned Elon, he can come for me because I don't have anything. So whatever. Let's see. So we're going to use the letter that will stand for this lawsuit. Will it go anywhere? Okay. So here's the lawsuit. Oops, sorry, I had my hand right on the thing there. Um, okay, I'm going to pull some clarifiers. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so we have the key, the stork, the lawsuit by Elon, the rider, and the young man. So I suppose that if you're a trillionaire, you assume that you can do whatever you want. Here we have a yes card, right? Uh, and the stork, he thinks he will get the better of Ro Khanna in this lawsuit. The lawsuit is the letter in the center, and he wants to send a message. And the message is, don't mess with me. I can buy and sell you 10,000 times. I told you he's so rich that you could take $100 bills, start stacking them on the floor, and they would extend all the way up to the moon. That's how much his trillions would go. Which again means that he could probably guarantee every person on earth a guaranteed income, free health care, and free education, and still have money left over. But I digress. Okay, so I pulled clarifiers on, it will proceed because he's a trillionaire. But I pulled clarifiers on the lawsuit, and we have the dog, the birds, and the ship. I think he will find lawyers and a grand jury who will allow this lawsuit to go forward. But they say you can indict a ham sandwich. Okay. The fourth card is the letter, and that's the card for the message. And we have the bear, the ring, and the heart. Okay, so what message is Elon trying to send through this lawsuit? I'm the boss of everybody, basically. Um, circle up, love me, because if you don't love me, I'll sue you. So here he is with his bully self, expecting to be rewarded by a win, a financial win ish. But so I think what will happen is that it will either be nipped in the bud, stopped by a judge, or it'll be continued, 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 continued. And eventually the felon and Elon and everybody else will be off the center stage, and this lawsuit would die a pathetic death. But again, as a trillionaire, sadly, it looks like Elon will be able to make life um, harder for Ro Khanna, who will have pro bono representation, I'm sure, and will not be bankrupted by this. But it will be a nuisance. And again, all he did was go on a podcast and quote a study that all of us, without the study, wouldn't we all have said, pretty sure if you got US aid, um, which helped people eat and not die from illnesses, if you got that, it's going to have bad consequences like deaths of children. I mean, it seems pretty logical. But right now, a lot of people are for sale, including in our judiciary. So I think that this will be a thing. I don't think it'll be nipped in the bud right away. Um, so there we go. Uh, the reflecting pool. So you and I both all saw, you and I both, you audience and I both saw I'm just cleaning the cards, shuffling them, the sequence of events with the reflecting pool, right? The reflecting pool was fine. There was a filter in it that Obama had put in. The felon took the filter out. Anyway, he decides that he wants the reflecting pool to be flag blue, quote unquote, like a navy blue color for the 4th of July. So he hires a guy to do the work. I don't know if you've seen the guy, but he looks like something out of a cartoon with the cigar and the dyed black hair. And he looks, and it was a no bid contract, which is to say there was no competition to get the job. And the guy was paid millions and millions of our dollars. And he was supposed to, repaint and reline or whatever the pool. Well, we all know the story of what's gone on. Um, the paint is peeling, algae has taken over. It's disgusting. I mean, a baby duck died in that water. Um, and it's just gross. Perfect for the 4th of July. So that was a big bust. But so people have, DC is a big tourist site, and this green pool has made the reflecting pool even more of a site than it was before, tourist site. So people have gone, and you've got this peeling, bubbling up, algaed liner of the pool lifting up, right, and sort of being on the surface of the water. So people have been picking it up like as a souvenir. Um, but the felon wants you, again, it's his sleight of hand. It doesn't work. It used to work. I remember back when he said, don't pay attention to what you're hearing or seeing, because that's not true. Just listen to what I tell you. That's the truth. He said that at one point in a campaign speech. Um, anyway, he's trying it again, but he has really lost his touch. And what he wants us to believe is that the reflecting pool got damaged because vandals came and tried to, take pieces of the lining out. Like, pay no attention to the fact that I hired a guy to paint it for millions and millions of tax dollars and he screwed it up. Pay no attention to that part. I want you to just skip to the part where it was all fine. I was just going to make it pretty flag blue. And then vandals came and it was pretty flag blue, which it never was. But anyway, um, it was pretty flag blue, and the vandals came and messed it up, and we're going to charge people with criminal. We're going to press criminal charges against people who have tried to take pieces of the pool. That he's calling the vandals. I just want to know, is that going to get him anywhere? So I think what we'll do is this is very non-traditional, right? But we're going to use the fish because they are swimming in water, right? So the fish will stand for the pool. And what I'm asking is, will the felon's legal claim that it is essentially taxpayer vandals who messed everything up? So of course, now we all have to pay for that too, to fix something that was not in the first place broken. How's that going to go over? Will that work? So we'll use the fish that will stand for the reflecting pool. Okay. Okay, so this stands for the reflecting pool, but more to the point, the felons watch the watch ploy to act like he's not the one that screwed the whole thing up. Okay. So we have the book, the snake, the reflecting pool, the fox, and the key. So he really thinks people are dumb and are not paying attention, and that he can kind of run a con, one of the infinite number of cons that he runs on us. Um, he thinks he can run a con. Um, but it's not going to work. People have been keeping track of this whole pool fiasco, and we know which was the chicken and which was the egg. We know who jacked it all up, and it wasn't vandals. Okay. So he's the one who caused the problem. This is the pool itself. He thinks he's slick, Fox. But this Fox, remember, is high on his own supply, high on his own belief in his power of persuasion, and is just sure that's the magic bullet, that's what's going to work. Just tell us a story, and we won't know any different, but we will. So here's the pool, and we have the young woman, the bouquet, the young man. I just feel like these two people are the public. And the public knows what a beautiful thing the reflecting pool is, the idea of it and the fact of it. And nobody likes what he's done to it. Nobody's liked because this pool doesn't belong to him, not for nothing, right? It belongs to us. It's our it's a gift to us that we gave ourselves, not for him. So here he is, Mr. Slick, thinking that he can pull the wool over people's eyes, obfuscate, and make everything all unclear and confused, kind of like the pool itself. Um, and then we have the crossroads and the anchor. He's going to have to, what? He's going to have to come up with something else because that's not going to work. And he is stuck for the pool. He's on the hook. That's what I meant to say. We're looking at this anchor. He's going to be on the hook, the con man, on the hook for the pool. We have the key as our last card, and we have Clover, Garden, and Rider. So I think that any court will see through this. It is frivolous. I don't think people will be, if they're prosecuted, they won't, I mean, it won't go anywhere. Um, because these are good cards for us. So nice try, felon, but we are well aware of what you did, and we are well aware of what you're trying to do. And let's see, it's getting a little late. So I'm going to look at one more thing. We know that the UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has resigned. This was last night. And he's from the Labour Party. And the thinking is, and there will be a contest about this, about who takes over, but the thinking is that the mayor of Manchester his name is Andy Burnham. And the thinking is that he will be the one selected as the new prime minister. Now, Andy Burnham from Manchester. Manchester, if you know the UK at all, it's the fifth largest city, and it's a kind of an industrial place. It's like they call it the the post-industrial. He represents the industrial um, ethic and population. So this would be, you know, think of it as blue collar workers who feel disenfranchised. Um, that has tended to be his constituency, Andy Burnham. What's interesting is that nobody really knows. Again, they're the same party. They're both Labor, the Labor Party. Nobody really knows or can articulate how any of his stances differ from Keir Starmer's. Like, for example, at one point he criticized Starmer for a policy that he thought was too stringent on immigration. And then he came up with his own policy position on immigration, and it was even more stringent and draconian than Keir Starmer's. So it's really kind of hard to know what his stance will be. Now, we do know that there's somebody lurking in the wings, Nigel Farage. And Nigel Farage is the felon-approved candidate from the Reform Party. And I'm curious to see, these are all post-Brexit people, all pro-Brexit people, right? All of them, Farage, Starmer, I think, and certainly Burnham. And the question we all want to ask these guys is, how's that working out for the UK? Not great, as far as I've heard. Um, the Brexit was a bust. So I just, just for fun, let's look and draw three cards for each of these two men. Nigel Farage says, it shouldn't be a coronation of Andy Burnham just because he's from the same party as Keir Starmer. There needs to be more of a contest. So let's draw. I'm going to draw three cards for the Reform Party, which is, like the MAGA party. This is Nigel Farage, and this is Andy Burnham, who is the odds-on choice, at least right now. Yeah. So Nigel Farage can kick rocks. The message to him is you do not pass go. You cannot get past that mountain to sail forward into success. So it won't be Nigel Farage. Will it be Andy Burnham? We have the anchor, we have the young man, and we have the garden. I think it will be Andy Burnham. But he again, he's going to have to be a little clearer about his policy positions because, uh, yeah, again, it's kind of hard to differentiate him from Keir Starmer, except that he's more styles himself as more of the, Ubermensch working class, disenfranchised representative of that population. So we'll see. Okay, everybody. If you are looking for me tomorrow, I will be on Substack writing, not doing videos, but I will be writing. So look for my Substack article there. Wednesday, Lena Down Under, my Australian friend, and I will be together tomorrow, Wednesday night, and that's at 6 Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's alive, so we'd love to have you join us there on Wednesday. Again, the algorithm is just being weird. I think they are getting rid of bots or whatever. I don't know. So if you could check to make sure that you are subscribed, please do. If you'd like to be notified of when I upload something, hit the notification bell and make sure it's set to all and not personalized. Because if you hit personalized, the algorithm decides what part of my work you see and what part of my work you don't see. So just hit all and then you're covered. Um, Please do hype and hit the like button and share if you think that there are people who would enjoy my content. And I really appreciate everybody who's here. I do read all your comments and appreciate them. So thank you so much. And I will see everybody over on Substack tomorrow in through my writing and here on Wednesday night with Lena. Okay, take care, everybody.